There is simply nothing better than getting paid every single month without you having to lift a finger. And in my opinion, then the best way of getting that passive income is by investing into monthly paying dividend stocks. And in today's video, then I am gonna give you my personal top 3 monthly paying dividend stocks. And these are simply the best monthly paying dividend stocks out there. But before we get to those, then my name is Casper, and here we strictly talk about investing and personal finance. So if you do like investing and you want to see your stock portfolio grow every single month, well then press that subscribe button below. And also guys, please leave a comment below and let me know which monthly paying dividend stocks you have in your portfolio. So moving straight to the first one, and this one is everyone's all-time favorite dividend stock. And that is of course the monthly dividend king, Realty Income Corp, ticker symbol O. And this one, as I'm sure most of you know, is a real estate investment trust, or a REIT. And it is the most popular REIT out there and the most popular monthly paying dividend stock. And they have a massive portfolio consisting of more than 15,000 properties with a really high occupancy rate of almost 99%. And they have more than 1,500 different clients. And the company has recently been heavily impacted by the high interest rate. That does have a very negative impact on real estate companies. But the interest rates has just started to drop again. And the Fed, they just lowered the interest rate by 0.5% during the last month. And that is a really good thing for real estate companies. And when looking at the share price for Realty Income Corp, well then they do right now have a share price of $62. And during the last month, then is this company up by almost 1%. And zooming out and looking at the last 12 months, well then is Realty Income Corp actually up by 27%. And that is a really solid performance. And they currently have a forward FFO of 4.22 and a forward price to FFO of 14.78. And according to most analysts, well then is Realty Income Corp a buy at the moment, and they are forecasting a share price of $64 within the next 12 months. And that is an upside of 3%. And remember that this upside does not include the dividends. And the dividends is the main part of this investment. And that is the reason why you should be investing into Realty Income Corp. So let's just have a look at the dividends. And they currently have a dividend yield sitting at just above 5% and a 5-year growth rate in their dividends of 3.55%. And even though that is not the highest growth rate out there, then it is still pretty good when taking into consideration that we are dealing with a company that does already have a dividend yield above 5%. Increasing that even further is absolutely amazing. And they have also been increasing their dividends for the last 26 years in a row. And overall, then there is definitely a reason as to why this is the monthly dividend king. It is an absolutely amazing company. And the best part is that you're getting paid every single month. So moving straight to the second company on my list. And here we have a company that does deserve a lot more attention than what it's getting. And that is Main Street Capital, ticker symbol MAIN. And this company here is an American business development company that specializes in providing financing and investment solutions for small to mid-market companies. And Main does very often take small ownership in these companies. And they are thereby benefiting from the growth of these smaller companies as well. And looking at their share price, well then we do see that Main currently has a share price of $50. And during the last month, well then are they up by 1%. And during the last 12 months, well then is Main actually up by 25%. And that is just like Realty Income Corp, a really solid performance. And they currently have a forward earnings per share of 4 and a forward price to earnings ratio of 12.19. But let's have a look at their dividends, because Main is absolutely amazing when it comes to dividends. And they currently have a dividend yield sitting of 8.20%, and that is really, really high. And they also have a 5-year growth rate of 3.84%, and that is again pretty good when taking into consideration that they already have a very, very high dividend yield. And they have been increasing their dividends for the last 3 years in a row. Main is absolutely amazing when it comes to dividends, but they're not that consistent when it comes to increasing their dividends every single year. And that is the main problem that us dividend investors do have with Main. But overall, then is Main an absolutely amazing company when it comes to dividends. They have a very, very high dividend yield, and it is a super investment to have, and they are paying you every single month. So moving on to the third and last monthly paying dividend stock on my list. And here we have another REIT, and that is Agree Realty, ticker symbol ADC. And this REIT here is one with some really big tenants like Walmart, Home Depot, Costco, and Lowe's, for example. And right now they have more than 2,100 different properties with a total of more than 43 million square feet spread across 49 different states within the US. And this company here has been heavily impacted by the high interest rate that has made the macroeconomic environment really hard for real estate companies. But just like the first one on my list today, well then is this company here also benefiting a lot from the recent decline in the interest rate. And when looking at the share price, well then we do see that right now, then does Agree Realty have a share price of $75. And during the last month alone, well then is this company up by almost 3%. And zooming out and looking at the last 12 months, well then is Agree Realty actually up by almost 40%. And that is an absolutely amazing performance. And they currently have a forward FFO of 4 and a forward price to FFO of 18.39. But let's just have a look at their dividends, because ADC is just like the other two, absolutely amazing when it comes to dividends. And they currently have a dividend yield of 4% and the 5-year growth rate in their dividends of 6%. And that is pretty good. And according to these statistics here, well then has ADC been increasing their dividends every single year for the last 3 years in a row. But that is actually not correct, because 3 years ago in 2020, they did change their dividends from being quarterly dividends to being monthly dividends. And the statistics does not take that into consideration. But if we do take that into consideration, well then they have been increasing their dividends every single year for almost 11 years in a row. And Agree Realty is a really good company with a lot of potential going forward. And they have some really nice dividends. And that was basically my top 3 monthly paying dividend stocks. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these companies. Thank you for watching the video and see you guys in the next one.